Are we live? Are we doing it? Are we here? All right. Welcome to the Nonsensus. It is All Hallows Eve of 2020. You're goddamn right. And I'm Gunther Mogdale. I am a nonsense man, not to be confused with Zachary Winchester, who is a shattered coward. Yes, a shattered coward, swamp creature who will never fully assemble his shattered heart that has been burst into a trillion pieces scattered across the known reality. But we are here in reality. I got a magical sphere here, and there's a little link there that anybody could click if they wanted to join the conversation for a few minutes or before I become irritated or bored with you. And, you know, honestly, that might be a long, long time, or nobody will click the thing, and I'm just going to have myself a little soliloquy here. So, it is All Hallows Eve right now. I just talked to a friend of mine in Germany, and it is evening time there. Night has fallen, but here where I am in the Detroits, it is a bright, bright, sunshiny day, and tonight is the night when the veil is most thin, as we say. So, it's prime time to cast a magical spell, or perhaps to experience some stuff. It doesn't always have to be about asking reality to do shit that you think you already know you want. That's the thing I keep learning is I don't know what I want. I don't know what I need till it's happening some of the time, you know? And that's the thing of trusting the thing, which is reality. Some turtles personify that and call it God. But, you know, knowing or having language for what the fuck's going on, I find ain't always the important part. It's what are we doing here? You know, what do we got going on? What is possible to have happening in this here bubble? So tonight on All Hallows Eve, hello there. My intention, my not expectation, but something that I am thinking that this is what's going down, is to confer with the spirits, as it were, which I don't necessarily mean dead folks. However, yesterday, at a place called the Schwitz in Detroit, that used to be a place where Jewish mobsters would hang out in the 1930s and such. You know, it's a place with a history. It's a place where it was understandable. It made sense to me that there would be some, I was about to say extraterrestrial, extra normal, paranormal activity stuff going on. And I seen a ghost. I seen a motherfucking ghost yesterday. And I could tell that particular occurrence, but what I thought was special about my seeing the ghosts that I realized today is it's important for consciousnesses that are as forgetful as ours to remember that stuff is going on that is spooky dooky and real, and we don't understand it yet, and it doesn't perform for you. You know, like if you ask it, hey, do the thing, show me a ghost. You ever been with somebody who is trying to be the brave alpha, oh look at me, I ain't scared, and you go to somewhere where there's ghost stuff happening or ghost stuff has been reported, and they're like, I don't believe in that shit. Show me, ghosts, what you do that gets others all in an uproar, and nothing ever happens then. You know, it reminds me of in The Exorcist, that's much too vulgar a display of power, sort of thing. But yesterday, I seen a ghost, and let me tell you what happened. So I'm at this place, the Schwitz, and usually this place is got a lot of folks and buzzing around going on in there. If you went there in a normal non-pandemia time of opening hours, even if you're the only person who is there as a patron, as a customer, as a sweater, there's going to be a bunch of folks who are employees marching around. There's just going to be more of a feeling there that you're in a place where people are, and And when you're in a place where people are, that is not when ghost experience stuff happens, right? And now the naysayers, which I say nay, I'm intensely critical of these things, but I had an experience, so I'm sharing with you now that I really experienced this. Now, I'm not saying there was a ghost, but I seen one. So I'm there, and it's just myself and 4 others at this point, and then the one employee who I later talked to her, and she was super duper nice and really, really excited about my question about, does ghost stuff happen here? And she was like, oh, fuck, hell yeah, let me tell you some stuff. Anyway, so I'm walking down this hallway where a bathroom is, upstairs from where the sauna, the banya, and the cold plunge. So I walk upstairs, and I'm away from all the humans at this point, more so than I ever get to, be at the Schwitz. I feel like only the employees who are there after hours are getting the experience of being there this alone. And I've been there numerous times before, but always there's people. And so I'm alone walking down this hallway bathroom at the Schwitz, and I see turn there by the doorway. I see a human being figure with a towel wrapped around him. Might have been a robe, but I definitely saw like a white towel on a person, a man, and turned the corner there. I didn't get enough of a glimpse to see. Did he have a beard? Was he bald? Was he like portly? Was he fit and trim? Was he young or old? I wouldn't be able to answer the usual guess who questions, but I saw a man in a towel turn around, just go past where I could see him real quick like that. And so, there's 4 of my friends there, 2 of which are male. So it's like, oh, if that's Mark or Dijon there, then that's them. And that's what I saw. But as I'm walking down this hallway and I just seen this person cut a corner, I'm like, that felt special, spooky, not scary enough for me to want to not approach the bathroom. I had to go to the bathroom. It was the only bathroom there. But it's like, well, that's weird. So as I'm walking up, I'm like, I'm either about to cut around this corner and enter this bathroom and see one of my friends and be like, oh, hey, or there's going to be nobody in there because there's nowhere else to get to where I just saw this human figure, and at which case I will then have to use the facilities with the knowing that I just seen a ghost. Once again, I'm not saying confirmation that there was a ghost. Even in my thoughts at this time, it's like, well, I seen someone. I did. So I go up into the bathroom, and I do turn around the corner, and I even look in the stalls and confirm, nope, there is no one there. So I have just had an experience of, at the very least, hallucinating. Completely sober as a judge. I'd just been saunaing for an hour and sweating out the just alcohol from last night. But by the way, my mostly sober for most of October is done, and I am going on a bender tonight on All Hallows Eve. Anyway, so I turn the corner and I look around the bathroom and there's no one there. So I just seen a ghost, and I'm spooked, but I wouldn't call it scared. And this is a good moment for me to define my terms. Of spooky, doesn't always mean uncomfortable or full of fear, but when something spooky's happening, right? So I then use the urinal with this understanding that, either there's a motherfucking ghost over my shoulder right now in this bathroom, or that's not how ghosts work. What it was, I just saw, something, but something, and because I do think this. When folks have these experiences of seeing apparitions and such, it seems to me that there is a consenting on the part of the not usually visible thing to show itself. Maybe, I don't know. I've heard a lot of different things, and I've had some different experiences over the time. I had an experience back in the day when I was, and this was the experience that like I had several years where it's like, oh, all my Ouija board experiences as a youngling, that was all bullshit. I was totally moving it, like I was in a moment of disbelief when I got to experience this place that was purchased in the Homestead Act, and found there was this bed in a bathroom. And I go and I use the bathroom with the bed. Well, I'm having all these ghost experiences in bathrooms. Anyway, yeah, no, this wasn't a ghost experience in the bathroom, but this was uncanny. So I use this bathroom that has a bed in the bathroom, and immediately I'm like, I like know that it was an elderly woman who like lived out her last months in this situation where she needed a bed in the bathroom because, that's where she's spending all her time. And then so I come out of there and I'm like, hey, did somebody like grow old and die here? And it's like, yeah, there was this lady. She was the last of that. Her husband passed away. She was here. And it was like it was just very uncanny how I was like being told, like immediately just upon seeing this one little piece of evidence of a bed in the bathroom, I just like had this whole story. I even had visuals of this person. And then like got filled in language information wise, and it was all as I had like immediately like felt an understanding of. Anyway. So that's not like, this is the neat thing about paranormal stuff is that there's never anything that proves shit, and that's funny to me. That's special. So I'm a nonsense man. I'm one who does not know. And, I don't know if there's ghost stuff like objectively happening, but I've experienced it several times throughout my life, and yesterday was one of them. So now I'm in this place now that I think is so perfect going into All Hallows Eve of 2020. And I've been saying 2020, not just, two 20s in a row, but a slash in the middle, because that's how you write 2020 vision. And so I had corrective surgery on my eyeballs in February of 2020. And then as soon as my eyes healed and I started seeing the world clearly, 2015 actually. But anyway, let's keep it on. As soon as I achieved 2020 vision, all this shit happened. The pandemic and the lockdown and the, billions of people having, like, being kind of forced, some actually forced in some places, to not interact with external observation reality and to some degree do introspection. And some people don't do introspection often, have you noticed? And some of us do it all the goddamn time, but still had a lot of introspecting that happened in that initial lockdown period. So I'm going into All Hallows Eve 2020 now with a real sense of magic, of the magic that, because I experienced something kind of magical yesterday. I'd say ghosts is, whatever, spiritual, whatever the fuck. Not outside of what has the seal of scientific approval, as in proven, stuff that happens, So, ghosts, I'd say a third of people that you talk to will be like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And obviously it's more of a thing amongst people who are more like magical, spiritual thinking folks. Like one of the things I've noticed about friends of mine who were raised in, not gonna say cult, one of them special little sects of Christianity. I know folks who were Mormon. I know folks who were raised with Jehovah's Witness, and I notice about those friends, they don't do that reality tunnel anymore, but they really are. They're some of the more spiritual and magical thinking people that I know, and that to me, that I don't think that's I think that says something. You tune your mind to be a perceiver of stuff that doesn't need to prove itself to you. You just feel it and interact with it because, like, you're just kind of expecting that. And maybe it's not, maybe it is more visceral than intellectual. I know people who are totally, believers in shit that ain't proven itself. Um, and more of them seem to have, come from a religious background. As far as, and I know people who were raised entirely secular or with parents that were like, that was never a thing, and now they've like found a spirituality. But almost all of those folks, it's been through psychedelics. Yeah, I try to avoid generalizations, but I will say in my observations of folks, the people that I know who are like living in a more spiritually experienced reality are folks who were either given it as language and a worldview, understanding, conceptual religiousness as kids, as babies, as new arrived consciousnesses. Oh, what's going on, mommy and or daddy? Oh, well, there's God. There's a God, and there's a this, and it's doing to this, and this is what we are, and this is what we're doing. So you either get hit with that, and you spend years with an acceptance that there's something fucking magical going on. Or I know folks who were not given to that, but then later ate some mushrooms, and well, yep, there's definitely something going on here, sort of thing. But and an interesting thing about drugs is if you have a drug experience that convinces you of some magical reality, good luck, saying that to somebody who's critical thinking and them like, thinking that you're good at critical thinking. Oh, I believe it. It's like, oh, how'd you come to believe that, Ned? Well, I took a face full of psychedelics, and then on the time where I was in this thing where this special thing was happening to my brain that not everybody understands, I perceived an alternate dimension. Oh, well, okay. Anywho, so I was entirely, as we say, sober, not on anything, yesterday at this place, the Schwitz, and had this experience. And so now, next day, I'm not right now particularly feeling that magical spiritual mode thing going on. To be entirely honest, right now I'm neurochemically quite bored. And before I went live, I was thinking I need to hang out with somebody. I need to get somebody to either come over because I'm fucking bored and I'm not enjoying my solitude anymore. In fact, I would like the opposite of that. But I got a night where I'm gonna be narrating a hayride, outdoor, of course, and masked. For those of you who are either sincerely conscientious and concerned for other people's safety, or just judgmental virtue signaling as fuck, I want to tell you that we will be outdoors. We will be being careful. But anyway, I'm going to be in this highly social situation tonight, so it's like if I can get my next 5 hours in being in solitude, charging up, being the opposite of what tends to happen to me when I spend too much time with humans, especially when I hang out like in groups, like at parties and shit. I become fiercely irritated with other at some point, and I need to at least get away with the ones that I have consented to interact with. I often find myself retreating from social situations, fucking infuriated by pretty much everyone. And so it's better. It's good. It can be good sometimes to get to this state that I was in now, where it's like I am bored with solitude. I am actually like bordering on depressive, self-hatred, sort of, like just shitty thoughts that I often find when I start getting into that sort of loop. I can just go out into the world, and immediately it's like, oh no, I'm excited and I'm listening. I'm with other. I'm observing myself as opposed to just being as one is when one is in solitude, being more introspective and silent. So anyway, I saw a fucking ghost yesterday. Thank you, Josh. Says this outfit is fire. Well, thank you. You should see the fucking boots. I got these special Halloween socks. But anyway, I got some special new digs for Gunther Mogdale yesterday, and yes, I am excited about living my life in this way. Costuming is one of the aspects of Halloween, right? So there's the spiritual stuff which not everybody participates in or thinks is a thing. And so now I tend to go into Halloween, or lately, this time particularly, because I seen a motherfucking ghost yesterday, and so that's reminded me there's something spooky going on in reality. Actually, I had two ghost sighting experiences yesterday, but the one that happened that I told you about with the bathroom with the hallway with the person in the towel, that was intense. And the one later was just kind of like it was in the actual banya large sauna room, and I saw more of like a figurine sort of like shadow person sort of thing, and that might have just been my seeing stuff. But the thing earlier, and being also that I just recently got 2015, but 2020 vision, I'm not seeing blurry stuff like I used to. And at that distance, if I'm seeing a fucking person in a towel turning a corner, I'm thinking something happened there. Anyway, so yeah, there's the disguise, there's the dead folks sort of spiritual. There's this is the when the veil is most thin, so there's stuff that might interact with us. There's interactions that we may even that's what I'm curious about. May I confer with non-human, or at least, not currently mortality-ing consciousnesses tonight? That's my question. Yeah, because it's not. I don't want to be so wish-centric in my magic doing. And I've been that a lot before, and it's like, and it occurs to me more today that it's like, Zachary, you claim to be the nonsense man. You go around with the Idaho sigil. That's this right here, which is in its essence a lightning bolt question mark. This one with some geometry around it, and that symbol and that character, or I see it as a role of nonsense man, is that I am the not knower. And so one of the things that I think that is empowering about not knowing is I don't know what I want. And this is what's great socially. I think this is this is the opposite of narcissism. And I feel like I used to really struggle with narcissism. Now it's just more of an ancillary problem that pops up every now and then in certain drug states at parties. But when you're a kid, you're very self-centric. And then there's certain experiences that don't just humble you, but can lead to a very empathically experienced existence with others in the world. And so when I am doing well as a nonsense man, one who does not know, and when I am using the magic of the I don't know, of the Idaho, the non-institution, don't try to define it, don't take it seriously, and don't attempt anything mutual without each other's mutual enthusiasm. When I am doing that proper, I go into the world not knowing what's best for you, knowing that I don't know what's best for anyone, perhaps even myself, and just kind of showing up, as they say, being present, and sort of paradoxically, simultaneously observing a thing happening to/with me, and being affecting my essence upon the world as much as possible. And it's like both of those things are happening in those times. It's very, very special. I experience it as a very, very special thing. Being a nonsense man on Halloween of 2020 with 2020 vision, actually 2015, but it just sounds more magical saying that I achieved 2020 vision and then 2020 happened. 2020, that is the year of our Lord that we're calling this. 2020 AD, there's some stuff going on in the world. And to be a nonsense man on a night when, as we say, the veil is most thin, that's real special. That's real special. And I am enthused and excited, and I'm feeling confident that I'll be able to do that more now that I have recently seen a fucking ghost. And you know, and that could be metaphorical as literal, because you know we express looks like you seen a ghost. Now yesterday at the Schwitz sauna bathhouse place in Detroit, Michigan, I literally seen a human figure with flesh and everything appear. I saw what it looked exactly like a person in a towel at the end of a hallway, where I then walked down and there was nobody in there and there was no way to get in there. I seen that with 2020 vision. And so I'll keep saying this. I'm not saying that there was a ghost and ghosts are real, and I confirmed that for myself yesterday, but I seen that. So I had that experience. And this is similar to the thing with psychedelics, where there's a lot of folks walking around right now that have had these emergent experiences. Sometimes we use the word transformative, but not all emergent experiences are necessarily transformative. You have an experience of profundity, and then maybe you do something with that going forward. We call that integrating a lesson, integrating an experience into your worldview, perhaps even into your behaviors. You know, there's I listened to Jason Silva saying some stuff the other day, and he was like, I think he was quoting somebody else, but he was talking about how do we turn altered states into altered traits. Like that's what I think ideally some of us are going for when we use psychedelics, as we say, intentionally. But I'm not one who will ever fault or judge anyone for doing something the wrong way. Well, in some ways, like there are certain sexual things, namely doing anything that is not 100% enthusiastically consented to by both parties. Like that, I judge. That I will. I'll try to get you in fucking trouble for that. Actually. If I observe that that's going on, but as far as things like using the sacrament sacrimoniously enough for my like I don't do the judgment thing about that so much. So if you just want to eat a face full of mushrooms and just jump in on a dance floor, that it won't be me saying no, don't do that, because I think that we think that our language for stuff is like the end all be all, when really it's like you are happening through a talking monkey is the way I would say it. It's not that you are that. And that's my personal definition of like spirituality is like we're spiritual. And spiritual experience would be when something's going on that seems to be, now these are words, but beyond language or objectivity science stuff. Like it gets the approval of your sincere, honest, consciousness. Like you believed it. It didn't prove itself to you, but it was an experience. So that, psychedelics and paranormal stuff have that similarity. Yesterday I seen a ghost. I'm not saying there was a ghost, but I experienced that. And now I'm going to let that affect me at least tonight. So I'm going into tonight, All Hallows Eve of 2020, with this recently reminded understanding and presumption that there's fucking ghost shit going on in this reality. That there is a spiritual what such that is turned up because it's Halloween and because it's 2020 and because my consciousness recently received, mortally, earthly, embodied 2020 vision, actually 2015. But anyway, I am not expecting but prepared for and excited for shit to get magical tonight. Infinite Fractal says, meditation and soul retrieval. Love the socks. Meditation is soul retrieval, did you mean? Because I would say maybe that, whatever. Words are great. Love the socks. He says, yeah, these are magical socks. I got these magical socks. You are awesome. Well, thanks. Tell the mind that convinces you that is you that I love. Oh, that love. Well, I love you too, Magical Turtle. Anywho, so tonight, I'm almost expecting shit to get magical. I'll say that. We're not supposed to have expectations, but I'm almost sure, because tonight I will be helping myself to get to that altered state that sometimes can be made into altered traits. I do at this point effectively believe that there is something to the understanding that the veil will be at its most thin tonight. There's also the thing about 3 a.m. witching hour, so I'll definitely be wide the fuck awake then. And I will be perceptive, and I will be open, and I will be being the fuck out of myself. And I will be disguised from the way I usually show up as Zachary Winchester. And I will remember I am dreaming. I think I'm gonna do a songy do. I'm not sure how good this'll sound through the streamer thing device, but I got a special song, and so I have to change hats now in order to put on these headphones. And yeah, this is this. Remember you are dreaming. Remember you are dreaming. Remember you are dreaming. Remember you are dreaming. That is not a euphemism. 'Tis a literal summation of what we are and what this is in an omnicentric obstacle course cropped and formed of visions. One can choose to ride the currents or design thine own to swim in. So remember you are dreaming, and that all that you are seeing is but streaming electricity. It enters us and leaves each in a streaming scheme where feelings are the arbiters of evenings, and words or days are best made sense of by believing that it's real. But please remember you are dreaming, and that all that you are feeling is our dealing with these fleeting bits of data that complete the skit. They say the world's a stage for all us players, and I see the tricks, but every now and then it gets intense enough to be convinced. Remember you are dreaming, meaning limitless potential. It's important we go forth with this, yet quite inconsequential. If we ford these monstrous obstacles we obliviously create, or weigh our worth by stats of earth and stack until we trash this place. Remember you are dreaming, and you're one in several zillion. Still, it's feasible to think your dream might have some mention in it of some underlying reason why we dream and what to do with this. But don't ask me to tell you. I don't have the slightest clue of this. Remember, you are dreaming. Remember, 'tis a dream. Remember, there is more to this than what your senses read. And when we die, we may enlighten. But while we're here, we are entrenched. And we are all in this together. So be kind to us, my friends. Remember you are dreaming. Remember 'tis a dream. Remember to float merrily, merrily, merrily down the stream. There is a reason why it feels so real. You'll soon remember why. But until then, enjoy the movie. And remember, it's just a ride. Remember you are dreaming. Remember you are dreaming. Remember. Remember you are dreaming.
Remember, you are dreaming. May that comfort you or terrify. As literal, yet bear in mind that meta-force that drives the dream has mind to see us flourish, but specifics aren't yours to be concerned with or determine, so remember you are dreaming. And it's all just ones and zeros. There's a vantage where your glance can catch a glimpse and clearly see the folds, but these are notes of trivia. Those will not help us solve for X and do not mean we understand a broken heart nor dolphin sex. Remember you are dreaming. No one's ever gone forever. We exist as this for little stints. We bind and then we sever, and we find that all and everything grows tiresome eventually. But certain as our certain deaths, be sure we are remembering. Remember you are dreaming. Remember 'tis a dream. Remember we are all in this together, or so it seems. And we are each of us directors, but we gather for one show, and we can talk about its meaning. But we rather do not know, so just remember you are dreaming. Remember you are free. Remember you are each as much a part of this as me. So while I have your heart's attention, as you listen to this song, I wish to tell you that I see you. Your existence is not wrong. Remember, you are dreaming. All this craziness we generate requires our perspectives. There are waves from which one can escape, but what a waste to shy from. I suggest we honor all the feels, for be this all a dream, it's all so truly, also real. Remember, you are dreaming. Look at all this wondrous stuff here. If we welcome and allow it to, more of the sort may appear. There's nowhere to float but up here. If that's all that you believe exists, salvation is awaiting. If we only just agree to this, remember you are dreaming, and that every dreaming being is as free as we to dream and be unleashed to seek unyielding bliss. Whatever this may be, I thank it all that I and you exist. And when new friends arrive, I wish to greet them with exuberance. Remember you are dreaming.
Boom. I forgot the words. Anyway,
Remember you are dreaming. And this mirror that you're seeing is so happy to have found you. There's a reason why we're meeting. It's a pleasure to be here when we're reminded what we know this is. So by the way, you're everything and kind of in control of it. Remember you are dreaming. Remember 'tis a dream. Remember to float merrily, merrily, merrily down the stream. There is a reason why it feels so real. You'll soon remember why. But until then...
well, shit. So there was some technical and turtical difficulties with that, but I thought I wanted to do a little rendition of that song. Remember you are dreaming. And that none of this is permanent. So it's up to us alone to choose the level of our fervorance. The pertinence of anything is laughably subjective as the maps and definitions that we navigate this mess with. So remember you are dreaming. Remember 'tis a dream. Remember to float merrily, merrily, merrily down the stream. There is a reason why it feels so real. You'll soon remember why. But until then, enjoy the movie and remember, it's just a ride. So, happy Halloween 2020. I hope some magical stuff happens to you tonight. I hope you make some magical stuff happen to the world tonight. As I say, happy reality. Remember you are dreaming. Love you all. Happy